Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks and Jimmy Dore are going to war with each other. So this all started on Twitter. I look forward to them trashing each other on their own shows probably today. It started out so nice, but this gets extremely personal, and there's some great attacks and great bars in this. So it starts out with Jimmy Dore tweeting, "Big thanks to Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian for covering Forced to Vote." To give you some context, Jimmy Dore started this movement, Forced to Vote. Basically, he wants progressives in Congress not to vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House unless she forces a vote on Medicare for all. So the Young Turks did a poll on their show to see if people like Jimmy Dore's plan or not, and their audience overwhelmingly does. And so Jimmy Dore tweets that and thanks them for doing the poll. Well, Cenk Uygur can't stand for that. So Cenk Uygur then puts, "Challenging progressives to defy Democratic leadership and force a floor vote on Medicare for all is so obvious I've been pushing for it for 2 years. The question is what vote you push on. The one where you hand the speaker position to GOP without any plan is not the one." So Jimmy Dore replies, "Sorry, but Cenk Uygur is misleading his audience again. If Pelosi doesn't get enough votes, it doesn't get handed to the GOP. That's not how it works at all. He's gaslighting everyone now and running interference for the Democratic Party. Don't fall for it. Hashtag forced to vote." First little shot taken. All right, and then it continues. It just gets so personal. Then Jimmy puts, "I am open to the fact that Cenk Uygur is not gaslighting, but just has no idea how politics works. There is no possibility the House speakership goes to the GOP. Here's TYT contributor Ryan Grimm to explain. Don't let people fearmonger this strategy. Hashtag forced to vote." And then Cenk puts, "I give a lot of shit, and I take a lot of shit. I fought 1,000 battles against every wing of every party. But I don't get sensitive about it. Jimmy Dore has his feelings hurt so much, he lashes out wildly against all other progressives. With his angle is to be the most pure." And then then this guy puts, "I actually agree with forced to vote, but seriously, leave Cenk and Anna alone. They made you." This guy defending Cenk. And then Jimmy Dore puts, "Correction, they benefited way more from having me. I gave them progressive credibility that they were more than happy to fundraise off of while also taking $20 million in Clinton donor cash. In fact, one day Cenk told me I have to make more Jimmy Dores. Yeah, how's that going?" Damn, that was a shot. And then Cenk puts, "Problem with Jimmy Dore isn't mediocre strategy of forced to vote. I support in beginning because I think pressure on progressive in Congress is helpful. They're too hesitant. Problem is, Jimmy then proceeded to burn every sane, honest progressive and made it about his ego." Then Jimmy Dore puts, "You have a problem with the guy who has a strategy, hashtag forced to vote, to get us Medicare for all. But this guy is welcome at your network. Nice job." And Josh Fox, who I'm not going to get into all that. But, so then we go to this. Cenk puts, "There is nothing wrong with forced to vote. What's wrong is the timing. Let's do forced to vote 10 more times at the right time. Right time is not an excuse to wait in this case. The right time was before this vote. I like being aggressive, but you have to do it strategically." Jimmy Dore puts, "Yes, we need to keep waiting. You're such a good boy Democrat. Did Cenk get his talking points straight from Neera Tanden again?" And then Cenk puts, "Now let me say to progressives in Congress, you are also creating a mess within the movement by never taking action against establishment Democrats. They are not your colleagues. We are. If you want to protect other people in power, we sent the wrong folks. Step up and fight. And then Jimmy Dore just goes, ha, forced to vote. And then Cenk goes, this guy asked Cenk, it's really unfortunate that he had to be the one to start the conversation about pressuring progressive Congress people. That could have been so constructive, but nope, and now he's doubling and tripling down on his tirade. Cenk goes, this is nowhere near true. Before Jimmy Dore jumped in with a half-baked plan to hand GOP speaker position, I called for progressives to challenge Pelosi within the Democratic caucus. I did it publicly and privately. Jimmy made a mess and is now attacking just progressives. Jimmy Dore goes, really? You called for doing that? How'd that pressure campaign work out for you? LOL. You are a sad little man who has no idea how to actually fight or challenge power since you took $20 million from Clinton donors. Get your head out of your ass and get on board, forced to vote. And you're lying about the GOP taking over the speakership. That's not how it works. How much are you being paid to try and stop this? Damn, Jimmy Dore is not holding back. But I told you this is going to get even more personal coming up. So they had that little tirade. And then they go after Anna Kasparian. So Cenk puts, Jimmy, I tried 1,000 times to hold back. I'm trying to help you, but you're hopeless. Why the F would you burn down your own house? This dumb attack on Anna Kasparian makes every sane progressive defend her. Your ego and reckless temper ruined you. Now, I think Jimmy tweeted something about her being pro-war, but then deleted it. But Jimmy responds, Cenk's executive producer bad faith attacks former employees. Then he blames the former employee for responding. His pro-war NATO dupe, Anna Kasparian, has caused this with her childish tantrums. Funny, when Cenk Uygur was begging to come on my show this year, he had no problems with me. Then he has a picture of Anna. I don't know who's that a picture with. Then he puts, these are the same BS attacks people used to launch at Cenk Uygur when he was actually challenging power instead of taking $20 million from Clinton donors to sheepdog progressives into the corporate Democratic Party. I'm too much, but this guy is good to go at TYT, and then Josh Fox again. It gets even more personal. This guy puts, it's remarkable to see folks who claim to be in favor of Medicare for all rebuke Jimmy Dore because they don't want him to get credit. Shows how they advocate as a way to acquire power by projecting hollow virtue. Jimmy puts, yes, they are all revealing themselves in this moment. I had Dr. Cornel West on my show today who encouraged me to keep going and keep yelling because they're always going to attack you anyway when you advocate for Medicare for all. And then Jimmy puts, luckily, Cenk Uygur's audience sees right through him. Stop running interference for the Democrats and get on board. This guy puts, Jimmy, I don't know what's going on with you, Cenk and Anna, but you guys are all on the same side. Please stop fighting each other. Jimmy puts, no, Cenk Uygur is against forced to vote and is lying and fear-mongering to scare people away. Luckily, his own audience sees through it. And then Jimmy responds to that old tweet that Cenk put. You know, I give a lot of. And then Jimmy puts, I'm a union buster, former pro-war Republican, took $20 million from Clinton donors and still pretend I'm independent so I can beg poor people for money 3 times a week from my cell phone in direct marketing campaigns while I smear true indie media because they advocate for forced to vote. Damn, Cenk be begging for money all the time. That is true. And then Kyle Kalinske jumps in and says, forget Dore. The strategy is correct. None of the critics of forced to vote have an answer for this. The Tea Party did this stuff and it worked. It pushed establishment GOPers further right and culminated with Trump winning in 2016. Even if you lose, you shift the Overton window and win. Now, Kalinske is affiliated with TYT, so you can tell that pissed off Cenk. And then Jimmy goes, sorry, but Cenk Uygur is misleading his audience again. If Pelosi doesn't get enough votes, it doesn't get handed to the GOP. That's not how it works. So that was the epic blow up, the epic war between Cenk Uygur and Jimmy Dore. Cenk the Brown Buffalo and Jimmy Spitting Dore. I'm sure they're going to address this on their shows today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But there were some good bars in that, and I have to give that to Jimmy Dore. Just on a bar performance, the disses. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, though.